Greetings and salutations. Wanted to tell my friends on the podcast here about our support from the brothers at Barossa Transport. You can check them out at barossatransport.com. Now listen, Barossa Transport offers a comprehensive service for all your transportation and property needs, including vehicle transport, heavy equipment hauling, you need your property cleaned up, material delivery, whatever it is, their dedicated team ensures reliable and efficient service. So, there's any solution you need tailored to your specific project requirements, Barossa Transport's got you covered. They can deliver your gravel if you got a road you need to cover, you need a water delivery, you need some debris hauled off, some branches, some heavy equipment moved around, dust maintenance and mitigation is coming up here in the summertime. All of it, roll-off dumpsters, scrap metal recycling, trailer and vehicle transportation. I'm just going to stop right there because the list goes on and on. But you can call Barossa Transport now at 707-358-2859 for a free quote and have Barossa Transport transport your stuff today. Also going to tell you about Thompson Construction. Big shout out to Kyle at Thompson Construction. Hey, I've been wearing the hat all day. And listen, you got excavating and grading needs, general engineering contractor based in Ukiah. You need some septic work done, any of that kind of stuff. Because trust me, this work is hard to find. The specialized septic system installation and repairs is hard to find in Ukiah. You need pond construction, agricultural stuff done. You want to line a pond, keep it from losing water in those hot summer days. You need a retaining wall, hiding, hillside grading, drainage systems, any of that stuff. Listen, this is OQ certified for PG&E, excavating and backfill. You need a swimming pool, fuel management, demolition. Again, what can't Kyle at Thompson Construction do? So, Thompson Construction, they love what they do, and they take the utmost pride in their work and customer satisfaction. With great attention to detail, no job is too big or too small for some of you out there, okay? So don't be shy that your job's too small. Just give them a call today at 707-391-7679. Ladies and gentlemen, sharpen up your axes and bring them down to the Thirsty Axe. Lots of fun for the whole family. Bring your friends, hide your kids, hide your wife, because we're throwing axes. It's a good time. Listen, you can go down and do karaoke on Wednesdays, trivia's on Thursdays. That's the jam. They got a pretty cool, sleek red room upstairs. You can hang out and have a cocktail or two, go down, shoot some pool, get some entertainment done. I've seen lots of good shows there as of late. So get out there and do it. All right. Go down to the Thirsty Axe at thirstyaxe.com. Check them out on School Street, Thirsty Axe. Yo, I like to keep it clean, and the way I do that, every 2 weeks I go down to Pure Blend's Barbershop and get faded. Listen, voted best barbershop in Lake and Mendocino counties. That's a thrice piece, 3 years in a row, right? 3-piece in a soda. Every year they're the best, and that's saying a lot because there's quite a few options out there when it comes to getting your hair cut, but no options are as good as the ones at Pure Blend's Barbershop. So go see your boys. You got to call for an appointment because they be getting booked. 707-472-6097, Pure Blend's Barbershop. DC Customs.
Customs.
Sounds like something out of a comic book, but that's what your vehicle looks like when these guys are done. It's really, really cool, man. I'd be sharing all of their cool stuff they do on Instagram. So listen, DC Customs, whether you want to get new tires, rims, slam it, jack it up high, run it through some sand, whatever you want to do, these guys can make it happen and make it look cool in the process. If you want to check out what they can do, go to dccustoms.net or call them today at 707-463-2227 and customize your vehicle today. Really excited to announce a new sponsor, Cali Mobile Detailing. Oh my gosh, you guys. Listen, this is a local Ukiah-based small business with a passion to provide an exceptional detail service, whether you're in Mendocino or Sonoma County. And when I say exceptional, I mean it. He detailed Carter's mom's car, and that thing looks absolutely brand new. It's unbelievable. So like he can do the inside of it, right? And do it super professional, interior carpet, seed extraction, steam cleaning, all those tight spots that you can't get with your fat knuckles. He can do it, okay? And he'll do it with a professional grade leather vinyl plastic conditioner that'll bring everything back to life. Or if your exterior is busted like mine, you can go through it, hand wash it, clean all the wheels, get the tar off of things, he calls it like a clay bar treatment, which removes the contaminants embedded in the coat, in the paint. It's crazy. So listen, you got the foggy headlights, they can take care of that too. I know you got like a 1999 Honda Accord over there, and those headlights, rubbing Coca-Cola on them isn't going to keep working. So this guy can do it for you. Get that fog out of there so you can shine bright like a diamond. Paint correction too. If you got some scratches, let's get rid of those. So listen, here's the catch. You got to mention you heard about us through the Like It or Not podcast, and you'll receive $50 off the works package, baby. That's it. Pickles and onions. So remember to mention Like It or Not for your next detail. So you can find them on IG. That's Instagram for you boomers out there at Cali_mobile_detailing and DM him, or just give him a call at 707-510-7373 and ask for Nick. Again, 707-510-7373.
My name is Carter Lane.
I'm Drew Nickel.
Welcome to the show. Oh my God. I think you have a problem, bro.
What the fuck is wrong with you? Oh my goodness.
707-234-8926 is the phone number that Drew and I share. You can call that at any time and leave us a message, a comment, a concern, an outrage, a review,
an opinion, maybe
an opinion.
Yeah,
everybody has those.
If your thumbs are tired from typing it out on Instagram just vigorously, go ahead and call and voice it out in your real words.
Give your thumbs a break. 707-234-8926 is the number.
Also, like and subscribe YouTube, or if you're a real gangster, you can listen to us on Spotify, Apple, and all that good stuff. So go and download. And don't just watch the little hyphy clips we put on Instagram to get you all riled up. You know, go listen to the whole context of the show. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like judging Thanksgiving dinner off a crouton. You know what I mean? You just take one little taste and you think you know what you're talking about, but really you're just shooting your mouth off. So that's our job.
But that's the hangnail that they feel. Their whole body could feel good, but they got a hangnail, and that's all they can focus on.
Right?
Exactly.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. Yeah, you can pull that up close. It is interesting, the world that we live in, where whole opinions are formed off of 6 seconds.
Sure, but we're all guilty of it.
No, 100%. I'm saying for sure, same thing. Everybody.
I'll get a little taste of something and be like, "Oh yeah, fuck that," or fuck yeah, that's rad."
React to it or whatever.
Yeah,
I mean that's my point, right?
But what we have, which is not a luxury for most people, is a context to what we're posting online. So we're encouraging you to go ahead and listen or watch the whole thing.
Yeah.
Then give us your comments and your feedback and your opinions and your questions and your concerns.
Yeah, or don't, you know.
Either way.
Only positive ones.
Yeah, what's up, Christian? Welcome to the show.
Christian Freeman, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, owner and operator of Namaste Cafe.
Namaste.
Very good. You know, all organic, vegan goodness for your bloodstream. And then drummer extraordinaire, right? Playing in a few different bands, Rising Signs, and Hella Mendocino these days.
Nerd.
You got it.
Oh, dude.
Tommy.
Oh, we found it back.
Played with Love Equals Death,
Love Equals
right?
Death.
For some tours.
Loose Change. Don't forget
Loose Change.
Dude, send me your resume.
Claim to fame.
Yeah.
I made it. Loose Change.
Just
dude.
Just the beginning. Just the beginning. Much more. How you doing, man?
That was like 25 years ago, but the Roots, right?
Yeah.
I mean, now I play Roots, but
Yeah.
back then punk was the Roots.
Right.
Punk Roots.
Yeah. Is there still a scene for that? You know, punk
Roots
rock?
or punk? Or
Either.
punk.
You know what I mean? Like the both of those seem like
I was
they're
just at the lot on Main. What was it on Friday for Weevilism's CD release party? And dude, people are showing up. I was
That's
like,
good.
Dude, there's more people here than some of the shows we played when we were their age, and they're crushing it.
They play punk?
I mean, it's alternative, but there's definitely some punk influence in there.
Cool.
And I was very impressed.
Nice.
The drummer actually is one of our employees. He makes juice for us. And
Oh, cool.
it was cool to watch him thrash on the drums. So we're both drummers, so we can banter at work. And he actually got up there and did some vocals too. I was like, yes. He played sang a Blink-182 song.
Nice.
Where are you? Yes. Pull out my phone. I'm so proud.
Yeah, that's awesome.
He's only like 20, but
That's rad.
super cool kid, Alex.
And there was a good scene for him?
Yeah, they showed up.
crowd.
I think there was a couple bands that played before them, and I mean, there was probably, I don't know, maybe I'm exaggerating, but 100 people there.
No, let's exaggerate.
There was at least 1,000.
Nice.
You know,
You're getting solid 200 people there,
Yeah.
flowing out in the streets.
That's rad.
cops showed up. There was a riot. That brick wall fell down.
Yeah, wow, yeah.
Yeah, dude.
It's all fixed up now, but
Oh, that's cool.
It was a rampage.
Yeah, that happened once to me.
What?
Just
you
1,000 people came and busted down a brick wall.
just once.
Yeah, it was fun.
And then what'd you do after that?
I picked up the bricks and
Start throwing them?
put the wall back up. Dude.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
what you
That's
do.
what you do.
Life gives you a broken brick wall. What do you do with the bricks?
Yeah, you build a
Build
wall.
them stronger. So yeah, this is just a full disclosure, just a random impromptu meeting with a couple of my good buddies here.
Yeah, we were
They blocked me in the driveway.
Right.
Oh, you can't even leave if you wanted to.
That's how we
I was-
get guests now.
I was upstairs with your lady Emily and our good friend Heather. We're going to be doing a breath work, Kundalini sound, little medicine music at the upcoming gathering, the gathering at
Yeah.
Gateway Mendocino. In
Family
Upland.
business.
And when's that happening?
This coming weekend, 20th through the 22nd. Bunch of DJs, bunch of healing work going on, yoga, the pond. Just
Yeah,
good
you can
vibes.
camp.
Little health and wellness DJ fest.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, a solstice too. So it would be the longest day of the year. You
Oh,
celebrate
that's
the
right.
sun.
Oh, it's my mama's birthday.
And also the replacement for maybe not the replacement, but no Sierra Nevada. So taking up, filling a little space.
That one hurts a little bit.
Does, huh?
Especially that $150 camping pass they never pay me back for.
Dude. You ain't never getting it either, bro.
It goes a lot deeper than that. It hurts a lot worse than the money part. That was our festy,
It
know.
hurt
for a long time.
It hurt a lot last year.
Yeah.
I was terrible.
If it wasn't like 5 days before it happened, you know what I mean?
It hurt a
It
lot.
was like, dude, we're a month out. We can't pay anybody because we gave it all to the artist, deposits. And sorry,
Yeah.
we didn't sell enough tickets. That's just how it goes. But like 5 days before, everyone's like got the time off work. They bought all their tickets, got
Yeah.
tents and shit.
We were playing. I don't think we got anybody.
Oh yeah, you guys were.
We finally made the bill,
finally
dude.
made it.
After
Yep.
just, being a grubby dirt ball in the parking lot for, 2 decades.
Let's print some shirts that make sure on the back has top shelf.
Yeah.
Headlining Saturday night.
Yeah.
Yes, dude.
Scratch out Lee Scratch Perry and put us.
Yeah.
Some Sierra Nevada merch that nobody will buy.
It was all we ate this
Yeah.
place.
Yeah.
They probably had
fuck
them.
no.
They were probably printed already. I wonder where all those thousands of shirts went.
It is kind of
maybe.
tough that such a good thing went out with such just like an epic nosedive.
Yeah.
It was just like
Didn't it come back for 1 year and we're like, yes.
Yeah, it
And
was
then
going
like-
down, and they kind of pulled up on the yoke and just barely missed the treetops.
Yeah.
And thought they were sailing into the future, and then just
It's a bummer too, because there, I can't remember his last name. Warren is the guy who created it and ran it for all these years, and then he passed away, and that's why there wasn't one for a year or two.
It was 2 years.
Couple. Of these.
Yeah, and then his wife kind of tried to bring it back and carry on the torch, and didn't work out.
Yeah,
I can't imagine what like a feat that is to put on a festival like that for.
oh, dude,
It's a
15,000.
large feat.
But
Yeah,
and make it profitable, right? Like it's one thing to put it on; it's another thing to put it on and make money.
yeah.
Well,
That's
the
hard
lineup was
part.
so stacked that just think like one artist being 150 grand if it's like Damian Marley, or even if it's someone
Coffee.
lower like 50 grand. I was thinking, when all that was going down, like, can we just like reach out to the artist and be like, yo, this festival's not going to happen. I know you guys already got your visas. You're coming over. Can you just take a little bit less so the festival can continue? Do
Can
it
we
for the music.
renegotiate?
Let's do it for the music.
Yeah.
You don't need 150. We'll give you 25.
Yeah. Yeah, it's too bad, dude. And it's
Maybe they
hard
tried that. Maybe
to
they
see. I'm sure they tried
They
everything.
probably tried everything.
It's hard to see because that festival to me was always like way more world and roots like music, and it's hard to see that like kind of not being supported.
Totally.
You know what I mean? Like she had a lot of really, really good acts on there, and still like ticket sales were way super low.
Yeah.
So
That's what I'm saying.
live music in general is struggling a little bit, I think,
Yeah. I mean, exactly. It's kind of
especially in this area where it used to thrive.
Yeah.
Because people had some extra cash in their pockets to spend, no problem, to go to a festival all weekend. And now you got to kind of pick and choose what you're going to do throughout the year.
Used to be like, oh, I'm going to Sierra, I'm going to Reggae on the River, I'm going to Cali Roots, and then going to these little shows in Santa Rosa, Sebastopol, in between. Now it's like, we're going to Cali Roots.
Yeah.
We're just going to one.
For one.
It's $1,000. I'm taking that alone.
Yeah, but even so that's true, but even just bands in general aren't like people playing instruments isn't as popular as it once was.
Yeah.
Now DJs are kind of more at the top.
Well,
So-
AI is making all the beats now, and
Dude, AI is something else, I'll tell you. It's coming fast too. We talked about this last time, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody made it that far, but we
Didn't we talk about it at the beginning?
I sure hope so.
no, but it was actually it was uplifting to go to Cali Roots with you guys and see how many people show up and are still into like good music,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
they do a lot of more new age reggae and stuff, but they bring the heavy hitter old school dudes too, Steel Pulse, and I mean now Protege is even older reggae now. It seems like he's obviously like newer, but he plays some really rootsy stuff. And people show up and people are popping off and people are loving it. The vibe's still there. It's just the money ain't there to go to all the festivals. So
Right.
Monterey's such a like central location, and they have like pretty good lineups mostly. I mean, depends on what your style is. I prefer some of the Sierra Nevada lineups a little more, but
I mean, that's my question. Do you think it's that people don't have the money to go to the festivals, or that they're not going to reggae festivals? Because they got money to go to country music festivals
And EDC.
and EDC, like
Yeah.
you know what I mean. So like maybe you're right, but it kind of seems to me like reggae.
the
is,
people that listen to reggae don't have the money.
Well, not anymore.
there you go. They're all ganja farmers, huh?
Well, and I think that EDC and stuff is more mainstream. Like reggae is still not mainstream music. Mm-hmm. Country's mainstream, pop is mainstream. Reggae is still a little underground.
Yeah. Well,
You know what I was thinking though? I was talking to Drew about this, about when we went to Cali Roots and we saw Buju Banton, and the very first Sierra Nevada that Drew and I ever went to was in Frogtown in Angels Camp.
yeah.
And Buju Banton was headlining at that. And when we saw him back then, he was like the new guy. He was the young, fresh,
Yeah,
doing all this new stuff. And
he's the dance hall king.
yeah, and then we go to see him now at Cali Roots, and he's the
Got
old
a gray beard. And
He's the old dude, yeah, dude.
Little
All
shiny
these-
patch on top of his head. Dude. He's like, just wrap your dreads around that shit,
Yeah.
dude. You good?
yeah.
Use
He
some,
was so dope though. It was like
Yeah.
we would. I mean, we went down there hella early in the morning, all the way to Monterey. Us three and Jack.
Session
We had a
one.
whole day full of like pretty dope music, and we're going for Protege and Buju. I don't care if I see anybody else, and that's how it went down. I was like, Protege stage, Buju stage. I'll just wait here, so I'm at the front. And I was cold and hungry and tired, and I'm like, Revolution's dope, but I don't need to see him for the 100th time.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'll listen to him from 4 blocks away because like you could hear the music anywhere in Monterey. It was so freaking loud.
Yeah.
That's the way I like it. Just turn it up.
Yeah, it was rad. What'd you think about the Expendables at Sundays in the Park last weekend.
Oh, they were really good. I didn't
Sick,
have
huh?
actually a chance to be like up front. I did the flag for you guys, and then once you get in the crowd and see 4,000 people that
Right.
you
Yeah.
get distracted from the music sometimes.
Yeah.
But I feel like I enjoyed from what I saw more than in the past, where I've seen them at like dry dig-ins, and maybe they were like on a tour for a couple months and they were just tired, or as a musician, you kind of like feel the energy of the musicians.
Totally.
But at Sundays, it was cool to like meet the singer. I was like, oh, it's cool to just drop in with the personalities, and see past the music and be like, oh, cool, they're cool too. It's
Yeah.
not just like,
Dude, they brought their kids up. They were here. The drummer singer guy was here for like a couple days before, and they went. He knows Brant. So Brant's from Santa Cruz.
tattoo brand.
Yeah, Brant from Ukiah Tattoo. So, anyways, they were hanging out for a couple days. Brought all the kids. The kids were all on stage watching them play, and it was cool, dude.
Family vibes.
And this was their first show of their like tour, their 25 anniversary tour. So they kind of had this. What I noticed, they had this like new kind of energy, just like, all right, here we go, let's kick it off, like.
I feel like all of us came from like kind of punkish roots, and a lot of like the Cali reggae bands, or the more new age reggae bands, or have roots in like punk or ska or whatever it is, sublime-ish type of music too, which was kind of a crossover of both. And thinking back, that's freaking 25 years ago when we were all starting our own bands. And, and a lot of it was more punkish and rockish, and it was cool to see them bring that back and start a mosh pit at Sunday in the Park.
Dude.
I didn't even get a chance to see it, but I would have been in it if
was
I'd known,
dope.
for sure.
Yeah, you don't hear that stuff. You don't hear punk. I don't hear punk too much anymore in these newer like bands that are growing, in the scene.
Yeah.
I don't hear it too much.
Yeah.
You hear it with Slightly Stupid, and Pepper will bust out a punk song every now and then. The Expendables.
That's what I mean.
But,
though.
like,
If you
that's
were born in the 80s and you lived in California, like punk scenes were big, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you got the whole, Gilman, East Bay hardcore, like
The Phoenix was our spot, and Petaluma just
yeah,
skipping a jump.
and like
Yeah.
you got like guys like Tim Armstrong and whatever, dude, Op Ivy, and then the whole LA punk scene too. And so that was super big out here. So a lot of people in reggae like grew up, we're in punk, and then all of a sudden it like graduates because it's a similar mentality to reggae music, but
It's a little counterculture.
maybe a little easier to digest and wake up from the next day. You know what I mean?
I think that's what happens is we realize we want to dance and not bang into each other on the dance floor, and we kind of just, obviously we still probably all listen to punk really loud when we're by ourselves and need a like little pimple pop, but
I just think it's like as
Pimple
you
popper.
get older, you just kind of mature and you become naturally like less angry. You know what I mean? Like
Or you have years worth of therapy and you become less angry.
you just
whatever, dude.
you just give up.
You just
He just resigned.
No, you just kind of let go of shit that
Yeah, you
either
just
you can't
yeah.
control, or you realize that like the more you resist certain things, the more it persists within your own inner, dialogue or
or it's just not that
frequency.
fucking bad, dude. Like, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like you're your own worst enemy. Half your fucking problems are probably caused by you, or my problems are caused by me.
Yeah.
Talk first person here.
Victim mentality.
Yeah, and you're like, all right, well, maybe I should relax a little bit, and then you get your first girlfriend, and you're like, yeah, really, it's not that bad, Maybe the sun's a little brighter.
That's how you get stuck with the wrong one. Dude. It's not so bad. I'll just keep her.
No, but I just mean in general, dude. You get your
world
first
ain't such
stitch
an
of
awful place.
You get your first stitch of puss, and all of a sudden you're not so angry anymore, dude. You know what I mean?
Popping pimples again.
Yep.
You can pop each other's pimples.
But do you remember like when we were in high school and
That's true love, dude.
we're-
Joseph's laughing over there.
Metaphorically, that doesn't sound right.
you remember
I'll
in
pop
high
your
school
pimple if
though,
you
like
pop yours.
every like whatever you were dealing with was like your whole world.
Right.
And as you grow up, your world like expands
Yeah.
to different
Well,
things.
and I remember always like what other people thought about me, like my social friends thing was like I remember being a kid and like judging like how good of a person I was by like how many friends I had. I'd like literally count my friends, and you're like, dude. And now the older I get, I'm like, I don't give a fuck, dude. You know what I mean? Like, Not that I don't care, but it's just like that. It doesn't matter to you as much, and that's that shit.
You don't
I'm
count
saying
your
where-
friends at night before you go to bed?
Not only that. Well, actually, I do. I'm like, there ain't very many left. I got 1, 2. Can I count my dog a cat?
Nope.
My cat doesn't like me that much.
Yeah, maybe your dog's.
I
not
left
your
my cat
for
locked
sure.
in the house for 24 hours. He was bummed.
Well, in the punk scene, it was almost the opposite. It was like, how many friends can I not have and be cool?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The less friends I have, the cooler I am.
Yeah. That's why they're super happy.
But to say,
No, but you're right. And, but so I think there's that generational thing with like, punk being in like reggae because it's kind of like, and then I think we get to a point where punk was 40 years ago, like a thing, I mean, not necessarily, but like at its height in the 80s and 90s, right? I mean, you're a good solid 20 years, at least a good solid 30 years past some of that.
Yeah.
I mean, there's good punk still, but
Well, the natural progression of it was going to punk pop,
yeah.
yeah, that's what I mean.
and
Like,
that stuff was like 2000s, right? So
yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
you're
when the
listening to
whole Blink-
oldies now. if
didn't
you listen
Green
to
Day
punk.
kill punk rock? Ugh.
I mean, Green Day
I don't
was
know, dude. They took an opportunity and blew it the fuck
was
up.
joking.
Yeah.
That was rad.
I like Green Day.
drummers from Willits, right?
Yeah.
Third Gate or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were like, they were super enjoyable to listen to as far as pop punk goes, and just knowing that one of the members was from around here was like probably a little bit of pride to that.
Well, not mentioning the fact that he's just a fantastic drummer.
And being a drummer,
Bro,
listen to him,
dude,
like,
you just hope you could be that good, dude.
And then watching him set his drum set on fire at Warped Tour 2000, I was like, dude, I just barely paid for my $500 Tama Rockstar, and you're burning down that $20,000 drum set right in front of me. You're a dick.
Right, dude. My cymbals are 90 years old.
He does that every night at every show.
Every time I hit the crash, I
dude.
get tetanus. And this guy's burning his shit up, dude. I'm like, dang, am I? But that's what I mean. Like, even look at like Warp Tours. That's still a thing?
It came back this year.
It did?
Yeah.
Well, good.
Sublime just played.
No way.
The Warp Tour, huh?
Yep.
Yeah, that was
30
like
fucking years later or something like
year
that. They played at the
2000
first
when I
one.
First one, it was like
95, I think it started in. Yeah, celebrating 30 years of music.
we were Good Riddance, played No Effects.
Let's see who's on it this year. Atmosphere.
Oh,
Avril Lavigne.
Angel Dust.
Less Than Jake.
You love Angel Dust.
Fishbone.
I know none of these
Fishbone's
bands.
a warp
Ooh,
tour.
Pennywise is on there.
Urethane we toured with in Europe. That's Steve Caballero's band. He's the guitarist.
Isn't he a skateboarder?
He's a skateboarder.
I remember seeing
That might
Steve,
actually be his artwork on the left side.
I remember seeing Steve Caballero here at the Brahma Bowl.
Brahma Bowl music.
What was he
Yeah.
doing?
I don't know. It was
Signing
some-
skateboards,
No,
or-
he was in a band.
Oh wow. Brahma Bowl was
Sublime.
like the dopest little venue. You had to go through the office and past all the records to get into the
Yeah.
speakeasy and back.
Yeah.
I just pulled up some old pictures from one of those shows.
Yeah, I don't know really any of those. Simple Plan.
That's
Origami Angel.
Silly
that
Goose.
was
There's
your-
a band
your-
named Silly
your
Goose.
pop punk region.
I'm into that name.
Bowling for Soup. Old ska band. All right, it's going. It's alive and well, dude.
Sublime's on there.
Interesting.
Sublime.
MGK.
I literally don't
is
recognize a lot of those bands.
No.
Less Than Jake is on there.
Comeback Kid, Less Than Jake, Urethane. I see 3.
Wow.
I think I would know more.
Very interesting.
I was never really like the geek that kind of like geeked out on all the coolest bands. It was like I found like whatever CDs I could afford that time. They were like $18 back then at either Dig Music or Hayes Music or whatever CD shops we had.
Yeah,
And the
Brahma Bowl.
CDs you had, you just studied that front to back, and
Yeah.
maybe had like 10 when you were younger.
Where did you get introduced to your music?
So it was 8th grade.
Like, was it your brother that you learned
You know what the
music
f-
from? Or
The first show that got me super pumped on punk was Loose Change playing our 8th grade graduation Nate Doherty was the cousin of Christina Doherty, who was having the 8th grade graduation, who was in our class. And they played at the Saturday afternoon club for her 8th grade graduation party. And it was like me, Mike, I think Tim and Chad, who all formed Nerd right around that same time, our band. And we sat there and pogoed the whole time, jumping up and down. That was like our version of moshing at the time. And like just fell in love with Loose Change. Maybe we had already been listening to them a little bit, but for those of you who don't know, Loose Change was a local band from Ukiah that had been playing for probably many years before we even knew what punk rock was. And then Jade Puget, guitarist, ended up going into AFI, and they ended up blowing up. And then a few years later, I ended up playing drums with them. Was like, you know, dream come true to kind of pop into like the band that you've been listening to growing up, and then all of a sudden you're playing drums for them. And then it happened again later with Love Equals Death. But yeah, good times.
Dude, that's what's up. Yeah, man. So you're also doing some yoga too these days. You're like
still doing yoga.
Yeah. You like yoga?
I love it.
He hates it, dude.
That was an easy question. I'm going somewhere with this, Carter.
Definitely.
Okay, sorry.
Hold my beer.
Yeah.
But I know you love it. But like, what is it about yoga? Because it seems like there's 100 different things you could be doing. You know what I mean? You're like an athletic guy.
It's the breath, man.
You're about the breathing, huh?
Yeah, that's what it all comes back to. I started going to yoga about 15 years ago, 2010, I guess it was. It was Radiant Yoga, but it was above where Oko Time is now. It was like, it was moving right around the same time I just started doing yoga there. Moved to the new spot. Anyways, fell in love with it. The whole reason I went was just because I was feeling just unhappy. Like, what am I doing? Kind of like, I need to calm my mind down. I need to like focus this thing. I need to figure some stuff out within myself. So I went to the first class. It was a hot, probably Bikram class that time. And halfway through it, I'm dying, like crawling out of there, like, what the fuck is this? You know, it's like,
Yeah.
it's like if you were in a sauna and you're doing an hour and a half worth of like strenuous postures. Like, it's hard to sit in a sauna for 5 minutes, let alone an hour and a half while you're doing these, you know, backflips and handstands. That's not really what we're doing, but
Feels like it.
eventually we're getting there. And I was just like, dude, I'm way too young for this to be this hard. Like, I need to like have a discipline with this practice till it's a little bit easier. And the more, I mean, I had a group of friends I was doing it. That's kind of what got me to do it. And they encouraged me to come. And just the clarity that I had got from it was, you know, something you can't really, it's just so priceless. And
You mean mentally, spiritually?
yeah,
kind of?
mostly mentally. Like, the asana practice is kind of the first part of yoga to get your body in like a very aligned place, kind of a harmonious spot, homeostasis, so that when you go to meditate, which is kind of the next part of yoga, really, is so that you're not thinking about your body. It's the shavasana that you're setting up for when you're doing the physical part of yoga. So you can sit there and your mind's not thinking about, oh, my shoulder hurts or my mind's wandering. So you're calming the mind, you're calming the body. Now I can sit and get into this super meditative place and hopefully get into the quantum realm where you're kind of outside of the body, out of the pain body, out of this three-dimensional reality, and you're more in this quantum field where you're with everything and the land of possibilities, right? Which I'm more and more seeing all these teachers that I've been listening to for years and all these retreats I've gone to and workshops, that it all comes back to the same thing, is just getting the body, the mind in this place of homeostasis, getting your mind in the right frequency, your brain and heart coherence in the right place. You know, Joe Dispenza talks about it all the time. And from that place, we get into the endless possibility realm of, you know, the quantum or the God place. And that's where you can supposedly call in your reality, you know, manifest whatever you want. So you're not manifesting from a place of fight or flight, which a lot of us are in, because our nervous systems are so shot just from so much stimulation and expectations for the self. And shit, I'm in it a little bit right now because we're, you know, in front of a camera and there's lights going, and I wasn't expecting to do this. And
Yeah.
but when you get out of that place, you're more in a place of, you know, receptivity and gratitude and, yeah, man, you're just in bliss and everything. Just you start to notice like how life is working for you instead of against you, and you stop like resisting or really being bummed at anything. Like you can kind of
Yeah.
just like,
Just learn to go with
oh,
it.
that's right. Oh, yeah. You're bummed. I'm not. Calmer than you are.
Bend, don't break. So
Anyway, so now, yeah, still moving forward. I ended up getting my my teaching credentials, if you will. I went and spent a year in San Francisco doing a yoga teacher training, 200-hour, because it was just time. Everyone's like, dude, you've been doing yoga long enough. It's time for you to, pass on the gift to other people. And you get into that place like, wow, this has done so much for me. I want to offer this to other people.
right.
So did the training, came back, didn't start teaching right away just because I wasn't ready. And then the opportunity came to teach again at Radiant. So I taught there for some years and then opened up the Heart Center above Namaste. And now I teach there and got some rad offerings up there. I teach 1 day a week, but there's sound healings that Heather does. There's Kundalini yoga. There's what else?
What's Kundalini yoga?
I'm not really well versed in teaching that, but Kundalini is essentially like the energy that resides in our lower energy centers. You'll see like the snake going up the medicine symbol. That's considered the Kundalini. That a lot of our like traumas and lower vibrational energies are down here. And with the right breath, they call them kriyas. You do these motions with breath or dancing or whatever it is. There's so many different kriyas. It can stimulate that cerebral spinal fluid and encourage it to make its way up the sushumna, which is like the spine, the energy channel that goes from the sacrum all the way up to the top of the head. And from there, you see the wings on that medicine symbol. I don't know why they use that symbol, and most people don't know what that is. But that's where the liberation happens when the pineal gland is activated. You put pressure on that third eye, and that's where the liberation is. Where you're not your mind, you're not your body, you're something more.
Yeah, there it is.
There you go.
It's so funny, like, yeah, and then look, there's on the side of an ambulance, right? There's so much symbolism in our world that people don't even understand. That's a topic for another day, but
Yeah.
it's insane. People don't actually know where these images come
People
from.
just don't question it. They're just like, oh, I just see that every day.
Yeah,
It's
like
just
what the
normal.
eagle means, and then it's like ties back to Saturn and Saturnalia, like, wisdom schools, and like it all goes back to something. It's all symbolism.
Right.
And we think it doesn't matter, but it all holds a vibrational frequency. And when you see it, it can entrap you or lock you or put you into that frequency, and therefore can make you susceptible, moldable, or controllable depending on your awareness. And it's everywhere. It's prolifically everywhere.
I even asked a doctor one time. He was cleaning my teeth or doing something in my mouth, taking out mercury or whatever I had him do. Like,
Right.
yeah, there's some shit in my head. I don't want it in there. And,
Oh, that's your brain,
and
sir.
I was like, "Hey, do you know what that symbol means?" I was like, started telling him the whole Kundalini thing. He's like, oh, interesting. And it kept going. He like literally just seemed like he didn't care, or maybe just didn't. He just didn't have any rebuttal to it. He's like, oh,
He's like,
that's one theory.
wow,
Yeah.
that's nice.
Let's see if I got something. I think I sent it here.
I wouldn't trust him to work on me while I was put under.
Yeah.
That's the whole Seinfeld episode.
I've been watching Grey's Anatomy with my younger daughter.
Oh boy.
It's like this, doctor show.
Yeah. With
It's-
like McDreamy or whatever,
It's
right?
good. Yeah, McSteamy and McDreamy.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's good, dude. Like the soap opera stuff of it is good. But the whole, dude, it's like depersonalized, like medicine, like the doc, they come in and like they're doing these crazy surgeries and things on people, and like, I don't know, dude, that shit freaks me out.
Yeah.
I've never been put under, and I don't really want to be, like, at all.
Well, dude, you can watch
into it.
like tons of like near death experiences, like NDE people talking about when they get put under, they like leave their body, but they're in the room, like watching the doctors work on them, and they're explaining like who was in the room and what was going on while they were there, but they shouldn't, because all that stuff they're talking about happened after they were, quote, under. And then they go even further. We might even talked about this already, but they're measuring like your brain waves. And when your brain waves are down, like they think you're not there, but these people were still able to tell them what was going on in the room.
Oh, dude, there's a scary movie about that, right? Where she gets put under, but she doesn't get put under. But she can't talk or speak or anything. She's like completely aware and totally aware, but she's paralyzed.
But this isn't where they're
Say a word.
feeling pain in their body.
Fuck that.
Like they're there feeling
I
in the
understand.
bone
It just
saw.
reminded me of that.
But the other thing was that then there was the same people, but when their heart was stopped, black. They don't remember anything. And they're like
It's
questioning where consciousness in the body is, because everybody's thinking it's like the brain, and your brain is your nerve center, but your brain shut down, and you're having an out-of-body experience, and you know it.
Right.
But when your heart is shut down,
It's gone.
you're gone.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's black, so it's pretty weird. Out of body experiences, OBE, can occur during anesthesia, though they are relatively rare, affecting an estimated 1 to 2 out of every 1,000 cases, according to Cleveland Clinic. These experiences can involve sensations of floating outside of the body and perceiving the world from that detached perspective. The brain reaction to anesthesia, particularly fluctuations in activity in regions related to self-awareness. Yeah, they tried to explain it all. These guys think they know everything, man.
1 to 2 out of every 1,000 doesn't seem like that
Do you
seems
guys
like
remember
pretty good
like,
odds.
intentionally
Yeah.
hyperventilating as kids?
Yes.
Where you like grab your knees
Yes.
and you take a big inhale and someone presses on your chest and you just go fish out.
Yes.
I feel like there was often like the dialogue was I had these crazy dreams and I thought I was out for an hour, but it was like, dude, you're out for 30 seconds. But
Yeah.
like,
Yeah,
there's these,
not
like,
even that,
super
right? Yeah.
vivid, super vivid experiences. And back then you didn't, I didn't think like, let me like tap into this dream and see like what kind of like rad spiritual significance I could get from it. It was just like, oh, that was great. I saw my dog and whatever.
Yeah. Let me get a pizza pocket.
Dude, I remember, dude. I did that once, and that's my mouth was moving like that while I was asleep, and they were like, "What were you doing?" And I was like sleeping. And I was all, and then
Having a seizure.
I
Self-induced
physically
seizure.
having a seizure in my mind. I was playing piano at a recital and singing in front of people.
Well,
And then it was like, I played piano back when I was like 8, doing that kind of dumb stuff. Dude, you have dreams? I've been telling him about this. It's like, I quit smoking pot about 4 or 5 months ago, and
Every time we come on, you've added another month.
it's because it's a month. Let's see, when is it?
Every week it's
Every week
yeah.
feels like a month, dude.
yeah, dude. Last one it was 3 months.
March to
now
June.
it's 4 or 5.
What's that? Anyways, who gives a shit? No one
I'm
cares.
just kidding, bro.
But that's not the point of the story. It was that since then, like,
keeps better track of time when he's high.
I'm having these dreams that are like
Vivid.
not just vivid, dude. They're like whole lifetimes. Like I'm like living out like these very long, intricate, like exhausting, like almost like action movie dreams, like every night. And I'm just like,
But didn't I
wake up exhausted?
I don't know if I wake up exhausted because I sleep like I'm out
champ,
like
yeah.
a dead man, but like I kind of wake up like holy shit because I
emotionally exhausted?
remember what I was going through while I'm sleeping, and I'm like, it's like weird. And there's people in my dreams that I don't know, and like all of these weird like
I think
things
it's
happening.
I think it's your brain and body catching up to where you are now because you started smoking weed so long ago that you haven't dreamt right. And so now that you've stopped that, it's like catching up.
You think so?
That's my theory.
You know it's
I
true.
wonder if you could like look
I don't
that
even
up.
know.
Do my
Remember-
dreams need to catch up or something?
I think it was in Inception or one of those movies.
That's what my dreams are like, dude.
where they're like 1 second in the dream world feels like you can have a whole day experience in your brain is like slowed down to a place where you can observe a whole day of happenings in the dream, but it's actually only 1 second in real time.
Yeah.
So that's a
I
trip.
think that's part of the natural paralysis that your body goes into when you're in your dream world. Your body naturally paralyzes itself as a defense mechanism so you don't act out your dreams and hurt yourself, But I think that has something to do with it. Like you never notice, like in your dreams, I'm like trying to fight somebody,
You can't.
but it's like punching in
Yeah.
water.
You can't run from something.
Yeah, it's just everything's like really slow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. At first, I just was like, didn't think anything of it, and then like it just keeps getting like more and
Now
more.
that you're on month 7, it's getting.
It just gets more and more intense, dude. And I'm just like, I mean, like seriously, I'm like, this is crazy,
Yeah,
dude.
I don't know if it was. I don't know when it started, but I mean, I've always been quite a dreamer. But in the last, like, I don't even know how many years it's been. I feel like every single night I have vivid dreams. I can wake up and be like, and talk about. I mean, dreams are always so hard to explain. Like, so what was your dream about? Like, I can't. There's no words.
Yeah, it was a dream.
And then 5 minutes goes by, you start forgetting it. Like it goes away so fast.
It's it's such a trip to me, dude.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Dude,
what
they
is
say-
it?
they
I
If
say-
want
that
to
happened
know.
to me in real life, I'd remember it for 5 lifetimes. But it was in a dream.
You'd write a book about it, dude.
I mean, there are some like traumatizing dreams that I still remember to this day that are like
Yeah.
were scary. And
Do you have reoccurring dreams ever?
dude, trippy ones with we lost our house in a fire in 2021, 4 years ago, and I've had multiple dreams where I'm in the house. It's a super lucid dream, and I'm like, this is crazy. How does the house exist? I'm so committed to knowing that like it's real, it's reality, and I'm like, how am I in this house? I know it burned. Like I'm in the dream and I don't think I'm in the dream. Like the house is here, but it's like kind of charred a little bit. That's happened multiple times. And I'll be like, whoever's in the dream, I'm like, dude, isn't this crazy? Didn't the house burn? Like
Yeah.
it's here. And it feels so real and it's so vivid. So that's happened multiple times, like kind of recently in the last few years. But
Yeah.
in general, no. They're usually just like super random and
Do you? You have repeat dreams?
Yeah, I have one that shows up frequently, which is like I'm failing high school.
Oh my god.
It's something to do with like failing one class that's gonna keep me from moving on, from graduating, from doing whatever.
dude, I have had, now that you mentioned, I had repeating dreams because I didn't drop out, but I kind of dropped out. I graduated like in sophomore year. I was like, this isn't for me. I took my proficiency and got out when I was like 16. But after that, I think I had some FOMO about like not graduating with all my friends because I was out of school. I mean, my best friend Mike was out of school too because he did the same thing. But in general, 99% of the people I knew were still going to school, and all of a sudden, I'm like, I'm going to get a job at the theater and not be around my friends all the time. So I had this like FOMO that I missed out on 3 years or 2.5 years of like being in school and just experiencing that with the friends. I mean, I would never, I don't regret it and I would never take it back, but maybe just like ingrained that part of me that was a little, just bummed that I didn't get to spend that time with my homies.
Yeah.
I started listening to a lot of Joe Dispenza. I know you went to the 3-day, which is super cool. I'd like to do that one day soon. I will do that one day soon. And, he always talks about like when you wake up in the morning and just in general, like the first thing we do is like replay the same set of problems that we had from the day before. So you just keep like setting this like,
Terrible intention to relive that.
yeah, or it's just like you're constantly just living memories of the past, right? Instead of creating a new vision for the future. And I listen to it every morning. Like I'll wake up and just go on YouTube and do Joe, and I'll just lay there in bed and listen to it. And so it really got me like aware of the fact that the first thing I do when I wake up is think like, what do I got to do today? What are my problems? All, and I just line it all out like that. And I'm like, bro, you've been up and awake for 16 seconds and you're already like replaying like all the shit you got to do today. Did you do it? What day is it? Like I wake up, I'm like, oh, it's fucking Sunday. It's not Monday. Oh, thank God. You know what I mean? And so I really had to make an effort to start reprogramming myself to like wake up and then be like, dude, no, it's a new day and I'm going to create these days and I don't have problems. And it literally changes your life.
Yeah.
Like it's no joke and it seems like hocus pocus shit, but like it literally changes your life. Like my life has, not like, oh, I'm all of a sudden some different person, but just like my whole mindset, what my self-awareness, what I value in life, what my trust and faith in God, all of those things have like exponentially strengthened and increased by just doing those exercises in the morning of like not reliving the fears and mistakes of the past, right? I'm not the person I was yesterday, and I'm going to have a wonderful day, and finally my time, and whatever, you know? Will you scroll down a little bit? I want to see this rebound effect. Because he's talking about cannabis. When individuals stop using cannabis, they may experience a rebound effect where they have more vivid and intense dreams, potentially including nightmares. Is there more to that? Because that seems to be something there.
That seems to be something I'm experiencing.
AI picked up what we had said earlier and they formed a fucking paragraph.
Well, no, I asked him to look it up, but I'm going to look more into that rebound effect because I'm like, how much longer do I got?
So they say, well, how many years did you consecutively smoke weed for?
I don't know, man.
Yeah, well,
I mean, I took a few breaks here and there, but
it's one of those things you can't.
20
the
years,
the
right?
only way out is through, and you were bypassing all your dreams, and now you're forced to go through all the shit you were supposed to go through all that time.
I mean,
that's
in
what I'm
life,
saying.
Too,
Like,
has life been
rebound.
has life been a little bit more challenging too?
no. Honestly, it hasn't been, other than a few times where I was like, I'd really like to smoke some weed right now.
But if you think about it, like drinking, like when people drink for a long time, they numb all their problems for a long time, and then they stop. It felt like that for me when I stopped boozing so much. Is like, oh, now you have to do the work. All that shit that you've been suppressing for the last 40 years, now you're having to deal with, and it's compounded. 'Cause you didn't do it slowly while it was happening.
They say the good thing about stopping drinking is you get your feelings back, and the bad thing is that you get your feelings back.
Yeah, straight up.
Yeah.
Factors influencing dreams on marijuana.
So during this period, nightmares become far more common and feelings significantly more real. Sometimes their vivid dreams may have nothing to do with REM sleep and instead may stem from issues like anxiety, insomnia, PTSD. Okay, whatever.
Well, again, there's
Which
your
marijuana...
there's
Wait,
your-
hold on. You stopped at the important part. Which a marijuana user may have been self-medicating.
Yeah, well, that's for sure true. Whatever the explanation, one thing is. I mean, definitely marijuana is a form of escapism, or whatever, like, for sure.
a little break, little medicine.
Dude, so if you start recording your dreams, like in the morning when you wake up and you start writing them down, it becomes easier to remember them, and your brain retains them like longer.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to start
So
doing
if you
that.
want to remember all this shit, start writing
And
it down.
you could probably write it down in a way that you'll actually understand if you read it later. But somebody that was you told it to or read it to would be like, what the fuck? Like, you were at your house, but you weren't at your house.
Yeah.
And you knew your house, but it didn't look like your house.
But-
But you were there, but you were somebody else.
Yeah. You had a
Yeah, and it
Rottweiler
was
for a
you,
head.
but it wasn't you.
It wasn't at all.
Those are weird,
It
yeah.
was a beetle.
Yeah.
I'm going to do that.
With
And it
the
was
face of
and
Michael
it was
Jackson.
A dude, but you're a chick.
It's like getting to the point where I'm starting to be aware that I'm dreaming in my dream because it's so weird. And you know what I mean? I'm like, I almost start to like know that I'm dreaming. But like you said, these dreams, it feels like, what was that movie? Inception? Like I've been gone for 7 years. And like all of a sudden I come back and one night sleep went by.
How weird
and
is
I'm
it?
like-
It makes
that-
sense, dude. What you're talking about makes sense for me. It's like because you stopped smoking weed.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. It just.
I
makes
wish I
sense
could
that
find
you
a
would be
paragraph
having-
that said about how much longer this is
Isn't
going
it
to take.
weird, though? I feel like this is such a
Type
perfect,
it into AI or the Chat GPT.
a perfect crossover to real life. Like is when you're in your dream and you realize you're flying or doing something super cool.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
all, I'm in a dream, I'm flying, and then all of a sudden you can't fly because you start thinking about it.
Yeah.
And like all of
Yeah.
a sudden you're proud about it. Like that's such like in life too. You're in this flow state. And,
Yeah.
Oh, I'm fucking crushing.
That was just like meditation,
much.
dude. I would be sitting there meditating and all of a sudden be like, oh my God,
There.
wait, this is the sickest shit. Ah,
Yeah.
fuck.
Or like dreaming about hot chicks. You're like, finally, like, really? She's so hot. Oh, I'm dreaming. Oh, it's gone, dude. They never
Go back
get
to sleep. Go
actually-
back to sleep.
Yeah, please.
I want to finish this dream. Fuck.
Melatonin.
Then you dream about something totally different.
I also have this reoccurring dream that I have the ability to fly, but it's like like it's really hard to like do it, you know, and I'll only catch it like every once in a while, you know.
For sure.
Oh, it's fucking weird.
I've had a recurring dream that I'm falling out of an airplane, and like it feels like I'm falling, but like I never hit the ground. It's just like this perpetual feeling of
That's
like
better than
falling.
hitting the ground.
Yeah,
They say if you hit the ground in your dream, you die.
but it's like that feeling of like, oh shit, I'm falling out of the plane, but like it just is always like that. It's very strange. I don't have them as much now that I'm older, but when I was younger, I had like those kind of recurring dreams a lot.
Yeah, I don't really remember too many of my dreams anymore, but if I do, it'll be like later on in the day, like around noon or
pops up,
something.
you're like, "Whoa."
Somebody will say something and I'll be like, holy
Yeah.
shit, I had a dream about that last night.
Or I'll see someone and I'll be like, oh shit, you were in my dream last night. This is a trip.
Yeah.
And it brought back the whole story.
That is weird. That happens. Like you'll dream about somebody randomly, and then all of a sudden the next day they're there.
Yeah.
Or they'll call you, or you'll hear from somebody that you haven't heard from in a
So
while.
the question is, are you manifesting the future by having the dream about them, or are you having a premonition of what's about to happen?
I don't know, dude. I think it's like a frequency thing.
Chicken or the egg?
You're like on the frequency of like, you know, Joseph, and then Joseph shows up. You know, you're dreaming about him. He's like, hello. I don't know why I'm here today,
I
but
need
I'm
my,
here.
my JoJo's.
How about those people that you don't see for a really long time, and then you see them like 3 times in a row?
Yeah.
Like all within a day or
Yeah.
two of each other. My uncle Johnny.
Oh, you've been thinking about me a lot, huh? You're getting really good at manifesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. My Uncle John used to say, like, if he saw somebody more than 3 times in a week, he would have to go up and have a conversation with them because there was some reason that they were showing up in his life like that.
Yeah, that's a good
Yeah,
a good
I
rule.
think that's
Yeah.
I think that's out.
So this is going to sound strange, but this is the 4th time I've seen you this week. First time I pretended I didn't see you. Second time I ignored you. Third time I was like, is this coincidence? And now
I got to talk to you.
we got to talk. What do you know that I don't know? Come on.
What's going on?
You following me?
Yeah, it doesn't count if you're intentionally seeing them 3 times in a week.
Yeah.
What was this that you pulled up, Joseph? Timeline for wet dreams after quitting.
You guys wanna,
vivid
you guys
dreams.
want to hear?
Whoa. Go ahead. How long? I'll take the wet dreams.
Let's talk about falling out of airplanes in a minute. If you guys
Okay.
are done
Yeah,
with this wet dream conversation you're trying to
Cannabis suppressed REM
Few
stage.
days to several weeks. Oh, you're fucked, Drew.
It's been months. I'm broken. It's been months. And it's just ramping up, dude.
Hey, cottonmouth doesn't only affect the mouth.
Yeah, dude. Oh my God. I got a dry pineal gland.
Cannabis suppresses REM sleep, the
Call
stage
that
where most
triennial.
dreams occur. When you quit, your brain rebounds and experiences a surge in REM sleep, leading to more intense, vivid, and often bizarre dreams.
Yeah, I
That's what's
noticed
going on, bud.
mostly beneficial things, I guess, from quitting. But yeah, so let's talk about falling out of airplanes.
I just figured I'd come around full circle with some real stories.
You think
about falling out.
you'll ever jump out of an airplane again?
Oh, you've heard this story, huh?
Of course I have.
What, didn't your chute not open?
Dude, you guys are blowing the whole story. Can you cut that part out? Yeah, that's what happened.
Wow, bro! You just went and told his end.
Damn, dude. I'm sorry.
All prosthetic.
It was a dream.
You yucked his yum.
It was a dream. You
You're gonna have to-
reminded me that I had heard that story before. I think.
Time doesn't exist. Just,
Wait, but nobody else has heard it. So go ahead. What happened?
let's keep it short.
First of all, where'd you go? So we
I've
know
had,
not to
like-
go there.
Cloverdale.
Oh,
dude.
no, dude. That's
Yeah.
where everybody goes.
Noverdale.
You got the Groupon, huh? Like 60% off.
Isn't that where you guys went?
I got the
No, I went
cousin-
to Monterey.
I got the cousins calling at like 7 a.m. Dude, we got this extra ticket. Come jump out of a plane with us. They're already all wasted. I don't think they had slept yet. This is back in the party days.
Oh, dude. They grabbed their sack lunches
It
instead
was-
of their parachutes.
No, it
and
was
jumped.
literally McDonald's. This is how bad it was back then. I was like, fuck it, all right, I'm going to go. I stopped by McDonald's, picked up some breakfast burritos, headed down there. They were literally 2 sheets to the wind already, like 10 o'clock in the morning. We're all about to jump out of our airplane, and we got to be conscious. We got to like learn what you're supposed to do if the fucking parachute doesn't open. And no, we're outside of the airport just like throwing down PBR, or no, we're drinking Budweiser. And so we went into the little trailer that they had there. No, first when I walked up, this guy is behind the trailer, rolling up the parachutes, smoking a cigarette while he's doing it, just like 2-inch ash hanging off. I was like, dude, is that my parachute? Dude? What the fuck?
A cigarette burns in it.
Dude, straight up. Holy parachute. Went into the trailer, had like literally like a 5-minute, yeah, we're going to jump out of the plane. And when we're ready to like have your arms go, we're going to tap you on the shoulder, blah, blah, blah. And isn't that usually like a 4-hour class and
Like
some
all day
practice runs? Like, no, you had the option to, be filmed while you're jumping out. And I ended up not doing that. I wish I would have, but that changed who got paired with who. I ended up getting paired with this dude. His breath was just stanky. He was one of the cigarette stotchers, and we were connecting. His fucking head is right here.
Yeah.
Done
Tandem.
it a million times. Getting this airplane that's literally duct taped together. Like there's literally like duct tape on the dash and stuff. I don't think it's holding it together, but the idea you just seem
Yeah,
it's like
or it
this
was
thing's
duct
being
tape.
held together by duct tape. Yeah, you just don't use duct tape on a plane. Like you just fix it right. I don't care. Duct tape's rad, but not to fix planes. So I'm sitting there, I was just scrunched in this thing. There's, a tandem. It was actually Joseph Minton and whoever he was strapped to, and he was all, and he'd already done it before. So I thought,
That
it's
day
gonna
or just in
no, he had
general?
done it in the past, but he was like
there's
scared. He was more
just the-
scared than anybody.
Just the two
He's
of you in the
"Fuck,
plane?
dude, fuck, dude, I don't know if I want to do something. No, you've already done this before. You're supposed to be making me feel more confident. I don't know if I'm ready to do it. I don't know.
It's a bad news when the guy who already done it is that
Yeah.
scared because he knows what's coming.
And we're literally in this, like, I don't know, 1940s, like, little fucking army plane. We had to, like, go like this for, like, 20 minutes. It took so long to get up. And like, a nice plane probably would have, okay, we're ready. This was like, my knees are hitting buttons. Like, literally, that's how scrunched up we were. I'm like, dude, is that cool that my knee hit that button? Like, Joe's back here, I don't know, man, I don't know. I'm like, fuck, I'm going to die. All right, it's time to go. All right, well, we're up here, So we jump out. We're flying. Fucking cool. This is crazy. He pulls the parachute, and we're floating. I'm like, all right, we made it. Like, once you're floating.
Yeah,
like,
once
you're
that thing
cool.
pulls tight, you're like, woohoo,
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
live.
And I'm like, cool, we're good. And without saying anything, he literally releases instead of being like, yeah, dude, we're going to have to like release the thing because there's something wrong with it. He just pulled it. And so we start falling again and we're just tumbling. And I'm like, what the fuck? What's going through your head is like the parachute just like failed and we're going to die.
Yeah, you thought it just blew off or something.
The cigarette holder started ripping up. And so he pulls the second one. I'm all, dude, what the fuck? What the fuck just happened? So, God damn it, oh fuck. He's doing the whole Joseph Minton thing. God damn it, oh fuck, it didn't open right. Shit. I'm like,
The
dude,
second
what?
one?
Yeah, no, the second one did, but he's like cursing and breathing cigarette breath on me, and he's not telling me like what happened because he's still panicking.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? Oh, that first fucking shoot didn't work right, and now we're on the second one. It's only half as big, and
We're coming in hot.
so we're coming in hot. And we're like 100 yards away from the target zone. Like, where the target is because it's in the middle of the airport, and we're like not in the middle of the airport. And we get closer and closer. Pull your legs up. Put your legs up. Trying to put my legs. Put your legs up. I'm trying. Put your legs up. We just end up smashing the ground hella hard, and he's all, oh, my leg. He like compound fractured his fucking leg. He unhooks the thing that we're strapped together, like pushes me off of him. And homie broke his leg, and I lived. But
You lifted your legs up.
I was trying. It was before yoga, dude. I couldn't do it.
Yeah, you were still eating McDonald's burritos.
Dude,
Holy shit,
it was
dude.
gnarly.
How did you feel after? Like, were you full of anxiety?
I think it was
Or
just
were
like
you
a
relieved?
just a celebration.
Yeah, you had to be glad you were
You're
alive.
just
You're
on
like,
the
give me
ground.
another bump, dude.
Like, that's the craziest shit that could happen, without dying, right? I mean, pretty much all the
that
things leading
situation,
up
yes.
into it. I mean, we could have got stuck in a tree or something, which would have been crazy. Or, yeah, I've had kind of bad luck with heights. I remember you being scared to fly on a plane with us to Colombia. You're like, damn, have you like almost like
Yeah,
died
dude.
in multiple planes?
Bro, can you get the next flight, dude?
and that was one of the gnarliest landings I think that ever. I don't know, maybe that
yeah.
happens a lot in Pitalito, but the plane was scary.
Yeah, just sometimes you gotta weave in there between the clouds, coming in hot.
What?
Yeah.
He doesn't give a fuck. He just
On the
sits there,
planes.
dude. Yeah, sleeps through everything. That's bullshit. We took a flight from DC back to San Francisco one time, and I thought it was fucking going down, dude. We're like dropping out of the sky, and like it's fucking shaking around, dude. And I look over, and he's with his pillow. I'm like, wake the fuck up, we're dying, dude. Like, what are you fucking doing?
Fucking
Not
dying.
dying alone. That's
Yeah.
not fair if you're sleeping through it.
Yeah, dude. He pulls his head out of his pillows, like, oh, what's going on? Like, the plane's going down, dude.
So
Looks
another
around.
plane, just a shorter version, flying out of Hawaii.
So funny, dude. Go ahead.
Just flying out of Hawaii, had to do an emergency landing, landed on the tarmac. This is a short version, but fire, police, the whole thing. We stopped right in the middle of the tarmac. Doors fly open. Emergency, evacuate.
No way.
In Hawaii on the tarmac?
Yeah. We had to slide down the crazy slide. Fucking dude, you come shooting down that
You go
thing.
fast down
you go,
that?
You go fast. And there's like
always wondered.
80-year-old ladies like flinging off.
Just doing a yard sale at the bottom.
Yeah, straight up. I mean, the the inflatable slide is, it's way high up in the plane, but once you get to the bottom of it, it's still like 4 feet off of the ground. You're coming
Sure.
flying off. At the same time, I got all these stitches in my finger because I had gotten cut on the coral reef. I had to get stitched up. Dude, Hawaii just chewed me up and spit me out.
Sounds rough, bro.
Yeah, I had to pay my dues.
Did you have like try to take a shell or a rock home in your bag or
That's
something?
what it was.
Yeah.
No, the shell was in my finger still underneath the stitches.
Well, what happened to the plane? Why'd you have to take the shoot?
So we took off, and I was like, we're not really, accelerating or going higher. This is weird. We're just like, and all the ladies are walking around, checking in the compartments and looking out the windows at the wings and shit. I'm like, well, they're not supposed to be walking around. Like, they're supposed to wait till we get, way up there. And they're already like looking up in suitcases. Am I looking for bombs or what, dude? Looking out the windows, again at the wings. And they ended up saying they smelt something weird, like some smoke or something. Like, they never ended up telling us, like,
Smelled some smoke, so we made
we're
everyone
having some
jump out
technical
the.
difficulties. We're gonna have to land the plane. So it was already like scary. I'm like, are we even gonna land?
Yeah.
And then we finally landed, and then they didn't tell us they were gonna stop in the middle and like open the side doors. But I definitely saw fire trucks following the plane. I'm like, are those for us? Like, is this thing gonna blow up? And it's like,
Dude.
evacuate.
Oh,
I know you.
I actually have it on film. I filmed the whole thing, me sliding down the slide and shit. I'm gonna get this on film in case
Wow.
make some money off it. This is before TikTok.
make some money off of it.
Remember the TV shows? I can't remember what
America's Funniest Home Videos.
something like that. But
Yeah.
where they just-
Ridiculousness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, that's so funny. Airplanes can be a little scary,
I
but
don't like them.
And then Joseph's gonna interview me about the Palace Hotel and me falling through the skylight, and breaking my
Yeah, you got some
tailbone and
bad luck,
pelvis.
dude.
I'm gonna save that one for the
Okay.
Palace Hotel dictionary.
for another day, huh? They're redoing it, dude. Give you another chance.
We'll give Namaste another chance.
Yeah.
Hopefully, it brings some business downtown.
Yeah, dude. That'd be good.
How do you like having that juice shop?
It's amazing, man. I
You
feel
put a
like
lot of love and energy into that place.
it's a lot of work. It's one of those things that you gotta like. It's a get to, not a got to. It's a passion project, just like any small business in any town is like paying your dues and making it past those first couple of years and building that that community. Really is what we were going for, and obviously offering healthy nutrition for the family and friends that we all surround ourselves by, because we know everybody, and there's not a whole lot of options for either vegans, vegetarians, or people that strictly want to eat organic food. And just at the end of the day, it's all about the smiles, the testimonials about how, there's people that come in every day and get the same thing because like, it's working. I'm feeling better. They're going through some like crazy disease or whatever it is. And whether or not, everything else they're doing in their life obviously is helping too, but just the little stop by Namaste for that juice that they said is working for them, even just to make them smile and have a nice little conversation or a 2-hour conversation. It turns into like a lot of therapy sessions, which is cool. It can be draining, but it's also like that's what we're there for.
Just make sure you buy another juice, motherfucker. Okay.
Every hour you got to buy something.
You only get one juice an hour.
Where did the idea come from? What got you inspired to start?
Well, yoga again was kind of the foundation for wanting to do everything healthy and good for myself and whoever I surrounded myself by. And in Ukiah, I was born and raised, so I wanted to give back really, and I needed to find a job, and I didn't want to work for anybody. There's always that, and the cannabis market was crashing, and it was time to find something different to do. And I'd been eyeballing buildings for a couple of years. I almost got the one right across from the yoga studio, the old Angels one. It would have been a rad like drive through and more seating and just a nice location. Had a good parking lot. But I went to Bali, and when I came back, somebody had already bought it. But then I got the old Sports Attic. I really didn't even know what I was going to do, honestly. I was just like, I want to do maybe some yoga, maybe some music, maybe some smoothies, maybe some juice. It was just like, I didn't know exactly what the end result was, but I knew if I got a building, I'd figure it out. I had the general sense of what I want to do, everything that I love, which is music, health, and yoga, and that's what it's turned into. And it's been a labor of love. It's been a lot of work. It's been very rewarding, but it's very exhausting at the same time. You got to drink a lot of juice to just stay up with that lifestyle.
Yeah.
But hopefully, it's every day there's new people coming in. People that I've known my whole life still coming in. Like, oh, it's my first time in here. I'm like, it's good. It's good to see that not everyone's been there. We haven't tapped every resource, and there's so many people that drive through 101's just such that gauntlet where everyone just you have travelers often, and yeah, man, it's a cool place to be in every day.
Yeah, I don't think people understand what it takes to like run a small business, like it's a lot of work. And we're not just talking about making juice or whatever, but my parents ran New Release, that small business, and just watching
616, that was our number. I remember that.
You know your account number. But if something goes wrong, like you got to deal with it. Something breaks, you got to fix it. Like there's no manager to cost. And then like, prices go up, the cost of food goes up. Some shipment doesn't come in, right? And it changes anything from your bottom line to how people's smoothie tastes that week or whatever it is. And people, just be like, oh, you want to go get a $10 juice? It's like, yeah, bro, because anything else is sugar and you're going to fucking die early drinking that kind of stuff. Like
get an $8 latte that has literally zero nutrition, or get a $10 juice that has like every bit of vitamin and some minerals you could possibly have for the whole day.
Yeah, and just like not sprayed or like, what I mean? There's like, that's the whole other side of it, is just the poisoning of the food that's going on. And I just I grew up with my parents microwaving vegetables, with plastic wrap over it, not really understanding like the bigger picture of like nutrition. Only like recently in my life have I like really figured it out, the importance of it. We'll put it that way, right? But it's like, dude, our food is poison. It's like straight up, like you want to get a bag salad, like it's sprayed with some shit to keep it crispy. Like you want to go get anything that you didn't like buy and make yourself, it's full of canola oil and sunflower seed oil and all of these things that give you swollen joints and swollen hands. And then when you don't feel good, you don't know why you don't feel good, because you think you're eating healthy.
Yeah, what you eat.
Right. And then they're like, well, here, dude, let's give you some pills. Right? And that'll fix everything. And then it's like, I don't know, just
That's
so
because the people giving you the pills are the people that grew the food. That's weird.
Weird, huh? It's all connected.
Strange.
And you just hope people wake up to that. Like I think that's happening.
It took me a long time to realize the correlation between what I ate and how I felt.
Yeah.
Because when I was younger, I could eat anything and it didn't change the way that I felt. I felt like,
I felt that you felt that I felt.
You were on the unconscious side of the learning curve, so like
Right.
you're so present as a kid, and you're in this like reactive mode, like you were saying earlier. It's like your reality is your reality, and there's not this like expansion around it or
Right.
any of like conscious thought. You're just like your brain's just going at whatever you learned from the day
Right.
before. Like you said, you're just running a program.
This is food because it's in a package, and the government wouldn't give me anything that wasn't safe for me to eat.
And
That's
no
why there's an FDA.
And no one said if you eat this food, you're going to feel like shit, and you're going to get inflammation, and you're going to have mucus in the bones, and that's going to be the disaster for cancer later on.
Right.
No one told you that. It was like, this is just what's normal. They feed you
This
this
is
shit.
what you eat because you're
I
hungry.
Went to
and then
Frank
you eat.
Zeke, and like I ate the hot food there, and it was like
Yeah.
gnarly, nasty shit. Like eventually we did the cold lunch where my mom would send me with
PB&J.
tuna fish soggy
Yeah.
sandwich.
Right. You throw that in the trash can and go get some nachos, dude. They trying to eat the
I remember
bullshit.
at Frank Zeke, they cut the pizza with scissors.
Right. In the squares.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, but it took me. I mean, I think even after I got sober, it took me a while to realize like that what I put in my body, food wise, was equaled how I felt. You know, it just took me a while to like get the correlation, just to be aware of it. Or I was aware of it before, and it just didn't. I was young, and it didn't affect me as well. You know. But like now, if I eat after fucking 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, I fucks my whole night up. It fucks me up the next day. Like I notice different things now. You know. So now I have a motivation to want to watch what I consume and stuff. You know.
Right.
But I don't know if it's like that for every young person, but it was for me.
I mean, pretty early on, I started to like, dabble in vegetarianism and being healthier and all that. I was, kind of had some hippie roots, I was reggae on the river kid. And, but in general, just like drinking, like when you were drinking when you were a kid, you kept doing it because you didn't feel like shit the next day. And now it's like, you feel like shit after just a couple. And do I really like the way that I am when I'm drinking? And you just have this like my buddy always talks about the unconscious side of the learning curve, and the conscious side of the learning curve is, before 12 years old, you're just in this like go, like you're not thinking about anything that you do. You're just doing it because you're doing it. And then at some point you're like, wait, why am I thinking that? Why am I eating that? Like you start questioning kind of everything. And now you're on the conscious side of the learning curve, and then which can be overwhelming too. It's like ignorance.
It's the red
is bliss,
pill or the blue pill. Yeah.
Do I want to go
exactly.
back to not caring, or do I want to continue on this like journey of truth and what's going to make me live my best life and my most high vibrational life? And how can I like give that on to the next person? Because that's what community is all about. It's what's working and what's benevolent within my life that seems to be like better for the world in general. And how can I mean, living by example is the biggest way to do it. Right.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Just being it.
Can't really talk anybody into it.
Yeah.
Especially your family.
Right. Especially your family. Dude, especially the older family, Oh, yeah. It's crazy. This interesting generation of people that are our parents is...
we're about to have to really take care of here.
There's just an interesting generation, the baby boomers. They just grew up trusting the television. And this, listen, this is a broad stroke. That doesn't mean everybody out there, but I just see it. Mm-hmm. It's like, where'd you hear that?
I mean,
I
think
didn't
for
hear.
the most part, you could trust the television for quite a while.
Yeah, I think that's a good point, Carter.
The radio they first started listening to, and that's where you got news from, right? Newspaper and radio, and then it changed. You could watch the news on the TV, and then all of a sudden, somewhere along the line, it gets majorly corrupted.
Yeah, no, I agree, and I just feel like, do you notice that? Like people, like you notice, like maybe that's all the news, and then every commercial is all pharmaceuticals. Yeah. In between all the ads, and like
I can't handle a TV. Like if I'm in a restaurant that has the TV going, or the TV's playing in someone's house, like I feel like I'm being like literally brainwashed and like, what do you call it? Mesmerized.
Dude, my 4-year-old niece, like when
hypnotized,
she's like in the room or something, like we'll be watching football. She won't care what's on when when the football game is on the TV. As soon as it turns into a commercial, it's like draws her in. It's so
Well, it gets
strange.
louder
Yeah.
too.
And like, oh man.
Oh, do you like water? And you're like, yeah, I do. They're talking to me.
Yeah. You need a
I
better
do,
water.
like literally like talking about like Joe Dispenza and all this stuff, creating your own reality and how powerful the mind is and all that. Like it's so obvious that they do that. Like every commercial, oh, do you have achy joints? You're like, fuck, kinda. I wasn't thinking about that till you said that, but your mind knows what it feels like to have achy joints. So if they're saying all this negative shit and your mind's processing it, I mean, eventually we can become, immune to it if we're conscious enough to reflect that. But subconsciously, it's just like it's happening, and it's just more work for us to do to like not let that shit affect you. Like you kind of have to be conscious of what. That's why I try not to watch movies. I try not to watch any TV because as much as I know that it can be programming, whether they're doing it intentionally or not, like that's just that much more work that I have to clear out later. I already have enough of my own, or from the past or 40 years of watching, Looney Tunes,
Yeah.
whatever. It is.
Yeah. I was just watching this show about magicians and how they can put things into your reality, right? Like introduce concepts and ideas and stuff like that so that when they get in front of you, you're already thinking about these things,
Oh, yeah.
There was this show there, it's some like modern day magician has a, Netflix show or whatever. And he was like, okay, I'm going to give you guys your own cameras to this group of random people. I'm going to give you your own cameras and go into this room, and it's got a bunch of different selfie like rooms, and pick out a couple of objects, put them on, like play around in the rooms and take pictures of yourselves. And they came out and like every one of them had chose the same object or whatever. And it was because, previous to that, they had introduced these objects to them in random different ways. So they had seen them, unconsciously, seen them or heard like, oh, watermelon is supposed to be good for you or blah, 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 and then they go in the room that's watermelon, they pick up the watermelon, and it's like every one of them.
Yeah.
So it's crazy
It's
how
subliminal. Yeah.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, yeah, dude, it's like Pied Piper.
Programming, dude.
Yeah.
That's what they call it. Program.
Joe Rogan, mentalist Oz Perlman guesses his secret pin code.
What? Wasn't impressed.
No, let's watch it. Can we watch it? Will this trigger some kind of
Lie to me. Do not tell me your real ATM pin code. Make up a fake 4-digit number. 2020. How'd I do, Joe? Is that your ATM pin code? Yeah. I'm skeptical because I've got that pin code in the mail. He's calling his bank right now and be like, Joe, do you know this? Has this guy been playing the long game? Yeah, I don't like that.
Yeah, he's pissed, dude. Look at him.
He is kind of mad because you could probably get a lot of cash out of Joe's bank account if you had his pin code, dude. That guy's bread.
Yeah, I
is
don't
a-
like that, dude.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, dude, I think that's right. It's easy to program people, and that's what they call it, television programming.
So watch what you're watching and listening to.
I was trying to think of how that word could mean anything else besides that. So I'm like, okay, we can call it programming, and people never question why it's called programming, except for to program the people to think the way they want them to think.
Well, it's our dumb English language where we have like multiple words that mean different things.
Well, yeah. I mean, the only other thing is like the program. If you go to like a play and you get the program,
Right.
and then you're like, this is what we're.
Right.
Right.
That's the
Get with the
television station programming.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
do a program,
Right.
but
this
it's
is
yeah,
the
it's-
programming of the program. The what's the little book they used to give you for the TV guide? Or whatever.
But that's the thing. People just gobble it down and just believe it. And it's just kind of like, if it doesn't come from the doctor, if it doesn't come from my trusted news, site, then it's all bullshit. And I just feel like it's all owned by a bunch of people that are all just, trying to turn each other against each other. You know what I mean? And that's really, it's just super divisive. And I don't know. Anyways,
Turn it off.
Yeah, that's the move, bro.
it off.
Because otherwise
Remember,
it's kind
kill
of
your
exhausting.
television stickers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Coming back.
Yeah.
You should make some.
Kill your cell phone.
Television's already dead though. Now it's everybody's
Yeah.
their phone put so close to their eyes.
They
It
were
looks like a big
genius to
screen.
give you a little mini TV to walk around with.
Yeah, dude.
Dude, I was turning and watched this 16-year-old kid today. It was actually right by your G shop, going by the Palace, turning left on State, going west.
Didn't even look at the turn.
No, he was walking on his phone like this, and I'm turning, and he just doesn't even look. Just walks straight across the street, looks at his phone. I literally pulled up behind him, rolled down my window, and was like, "Bro, get off your phone." I almost ran you over. And he still didn't even look up from his phone. He just ignored me and kept walking down the
phone
street.
makes you want to get hit by a car. He just literally did not care. That's how like bummed he was on life. He's like, this is what it came down to.
Dude,
Walk around looking at fucking
Yeah.
somebody,
I'm like, bro, you will die
like
early.
40 years ago, or earlier in our childhood around Ukiah, you could have done that, and people will stop for you, and they're going the speed limit, and like it wouldn't even be dangerous to walk across the street like that. Now it's like I'll stand at the crosswalk, and literally 10 cars will go by. They can obviously see me standing there. It's just like there's this disconnect between like really giving a F about like anybody else except for themselves. Everyone's in such a hurry, and like you saw me for a half a block standing there coming, like I don't know, like stopping for someone crossing the street is such a base level thing, and it just speaks numbers for
Well,
just how society kind of is.
I definitely
right
stopped
now.
for this kid, otherwise he'd be on my grill right now, dude. You know what I mean? But that's my point. It's just like, dude, not nobody, but I mean, it's just kind of like, oof.
And we're talking about it, so we know, and there's a lot of people like us too. Again, it's easy to focus on the negative, but I think in general, like often things are, can be a 50-50 split, and they do kind of smudge both ways. But I think just as humans, we notice these things because like there's this innate thing within us that wants to make life on planet better. So we notice them, but instead of like complaining about them and kind of feeding that energy, it's like solution based. How can we just bring more awareness and consciousness and people just giving a care about everybody that they're living with, because we're in this together.
Well, I think like what you said earlier is like you have to work on yourself and be the example of that.
Yeah.
And then somebody sees you slowing down and being like, oh, okay, cool. That rubs off and comes off on other people. Do you guys ever sit in a public setting and realize how many people you don't know in this town? Like, I feel like I know a lot of people.
I
or
know
that
if
a
I
lot
went
of
to the
people,
races, I would be like 99% of the people. But where did
I went to the
these
fucking
people come
boat
from?
races, dude, and thought
yeah.
that exact thought,
Yeah.
dude, was like, where in the world are all these people hiding?
Carmen, San Diego.
Except for on a Saturday night at the boat races at the fair.
I mean, the same thing happened.
It was
It'll happen
crazy.
at Metal Fest too in the plaza, and people show up for that, like orcs coming out of the hills, dude.
Crazy.
And
Lot
you're
of
like,
lake-
Lord of the Rings.
yeah,
A lot of Lake County folk, I
Schmeagle
think.
over there.
Dude,
Fucking
Swamp
damn.
donkeys.
What
I
do they
can't
call
get someone to show up for a reggae show, but Metal Fest is crawling with Sauron's
It's
fucking
'cause there's
disciples.
It's because there's only one a year, dude.
That's all they get.
Yeah.
They throw them a bone. Free.
Yeah,
You
literally.
guys get it out. Get
Yeah.
it out. Get it out of your system.
I was in the Thirsty Axe for that midget wrestling thing, and I was like,
dude, that
who
thing
the
was
fuck
packed.
are these people, dude?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, they don't come out. They won't come out for President Brown, but you get a couple of midgets up there hitting each other with trash cans.
They're there.
I think we know who we want to open for our next show.
Have midget wrestling as the opening act.
Yeah, dude. We'll pack this joint, dude.
You have to have them
We just gotta-
headlining too, so that you're in the middle, so people don't leave.
We just got to have 25 Cent there, dude.
Yeah, he was the little black midget that was there. He's like the most popular
Good
midget.
name. That's the best name.
I think you could bring him up. 25 Cent. Yeah, he's like a famous midget wrestler.
And then what was the other one? It was like
Minnie Marley.
Mini
or something
Marley
like
or
that.
something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
dreads.
dreads.
Yeah,
Yeah,
dreads.
he's all Bob Marley'd out. Yeah, that's him, dude.
Yeah, there he is.
Micro.
25 cent, dude.
Yeah, that's him, dude.
He's a mean motherfucker, dude.
He's got
He
straight
was,
up bulletproof vest on.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
him. Little 25 cent.
Oh yeah, there's Minnie Marley right
Oh,
there.
I didn't see her.
We didn't stay long enough.
Well, I don't know. I don't think there was any
Yeah, there's
female midgets there.
Yeah, Bridget the midget.
They
was
put him
there.
on the
She
flyer.
was?
That's how they get people there.
They're on the flyer, dude.
Yeah, but I didn't see him at the show.
It's gotta
Dude,
be
we
so
did
weird to
the-
be a midget, dude.
we did
because they're like hypnotizing when you see them in real life.
Dude,
It's like seeing the fucking
Dude,
tooth fairy in
we
real
got-
life, dude. You're
You
like,
got the hobbits at the Thirsty Axe, and you got the fucking orcs over here at the plaza.
it was a strange weekend
Where's
in
the
Ukiah.
wizards, dude?
dude, the lizards are controlling it all.
Oh, dude. Yeah. Did you see that little guy get knocked over in the crowd?
There was a little guy in the crowd.
Yeah. Well, the little guy that was running the door. That told you to fucking move out of the way.
Yeah, the grumpy little bastard, dude. He was like a fucking fire doompa loompa, that one. He was so grumpy, dude.
Yeah, so he was trying to make his way through the crowd, and somebody like stepped over like a quarter of a step and fucking knocked his little ass on the ground. And he got up all pissed and pushed the guy's like knee, you know.
I represent the Lollipop Guild.
Fucking pissed,
Dude,
dude.
it was seriously like the Wizard of Oz in there, dude.
It was strange.
Oh my god.
Yeah, we
Munchkins.
played Hella Mendocino. We played at Cooperage Brewing in Santa Rosa. It wasn't midget wrestling, but it was pro wrestling. And dude, people, it was, what was it? It's a certain type. It was kind of like from Nacho Libre, where they wear masks.
Oh yeah,
like the Mexican
luchador.
one. Yeah, something like that. But yeah, there was thousands of people.
I
there.
don't get it.
Is it coming back, or
Well,
has it
that-
always been a thing? Is it
I
still
think it's
a
always
thing?
been a thing. Yeah.
I remember I'm like Hulk Hogan. That's like what I remember.
Yeah, that was our childhood, right?
Yeah.
But like it's on Netflix now. Like
Yeah, professional
WWE,
wrestling is
Raw
still
or whatever.
And
is
people
on-
still think it's real.
No, they know it's fake. That's why they
But
like
I
about it.
remember the people that like. I mean, obviously they're
Yeah,
really
yeah.
doing physical things and like colliding and the whole thing. But
Yeah.
I just remember people like, no, it's real.
Yeah.
Like, dude,
I used to like The Undertaker.
yeah.
He was the man.
He retired recently.
Recently?
Yeah, he went a long time.
Wow.
All right, I got to run, dude. It's been
All
real
right.
though. Love you guys.
Thanks
Oh,
for
can
being
we,
here, Christian.
yeah,
plug
yeah,
your,
yeah.
plug
Anything-
your stuff.
That was super random. I even,
Thanks for
You got the
walking
memo,
by.
the black shirt memo.
yeah.
Yeah, dude, you fit right in.
We got a show. We got a couple
Who's we?
shows. Can we do this?
Yeah.
Can we do a little
Totally.
promo,
Of course.
a little promo?
Yeah.
Please do.
The 21st, which is actually happening during the gathering, so I don't want to, split the. I don't think that's going to
Well, we're
affect them
gonna.
at all.
Go ahead.
But we're doing it. I'm going to be at both, so I can do this. Canuck Day, they do the Reggae at the Lake series.
Yeah.
Free reggae, super rad, right on the lake. All all ages, kid friendly. Hella Mendocino opening for Yardcore.
Oh, cool.
Okay.
That's on the 21st. I think it's at like 6 o'clock, or just check the internet, reggaeatthelake.com. And then 27th Brewery is Hella Mendocino Rising Signs, the two bands that I play drums for.
Oh, cool.
Nice. Christian will be on double duty at the Ukiah Brewing Company, 27th.
27th.
I'm gonna
right
come
here
to
in
that.
town.
I'm gonna come to that.
Support live music.
And come to the gathering. On
Yep.
June 20th through the 27th.
Family business out at Gateway Mendocino.
Yeah.
3 days.
Get your tickets and your parking passes right now ahead of time.
All right. Love you all.
Cool.
See you next time.
Peace and
Love
love.
you guys.
Namaste.
Like it or not.